Hi students, a very pleasant and warm greetings to you all. Hope you are doing good. Last session we have seen about EDI types, right? Electronic data interchange types. What are the types of EDI? Direct EDI, EDI via VAN, value added network, EDI via FTP or VPN, SFTP, FTPS, Web EDI, mobile EDI, right? And then we have seen about the advantages of EDI, increasing the service to end users, increasing productivity, minimizing the errors, slashing response time, automation of operations, cutting cost, integrating all business and trading partners, providing information on process status, optimizing financial ratios. These are the advantages of EDI, right? And then we have seen about the EDI layers also, semantic layer, standard translation layer, transport layer, and physical layer, right? Today we are going to see about EDI components. Okay, there are four major components in this electronic data interchange. They are standard document format, translator and mapper, communication software, and communication network. Okay. What are the components of electronic data interchange? Standard document format, translator and mapper, communication software, and communication network, right? Standard document format means we saw every document will have a format, right? Here in this EDI, we have a standard document format, so that what happens in all the documents, it will have a same format, so it will be easy to identify who is the sender, what is the purpose, and what is the thing. That main things will be kept in the same place, right, in a document, so it is easy to identify the details there. And the first component is standard document format, right? And the next one is translator and mapper. Translator means it will translate the data, right? When you are translating from one language to another language, we'll say it as translator. Or if any data or the message is translated from one code to another code, we'll say it as translator, right? And mapper means it is to identify a particular spot, right? That is mapper. And the next one is communication network and communication software. Software means the codes, right? The codes which are used for communication purpose is communication software, and the network which is used for communication, we'll say it as communication network, right? So what are the components of EDI? Standard document format, translator and mapper, communication software, and communication network, right? Next we are going to see about EDI standards, right? This electronic data interface standards is the main part or the most critical part in this entire electronic data interchange, right? Since this EDI is the data transmission and information interchanging or exchanging in the form of a agreed message format, this is important to develop a unified EDI standard, right? If it has a unified EDI standard only, we'll be able to exchange the information and transmit the data in this electronic data interchange, right? This EDI standard has been divided into basic standards, code standards, message standards, document standards, management standards, application standards, communication standards, and security standards, right? So this EDI standards has some divisions. They are basic standards, code standards, message standards, document standards, application standards, management standards, communication standards, and security standards, right? Here this EDI standards only plays a major part in this electronic data interchange, that is the exchange of information and the transmission of data, right? Here we have seen some divisions also, this EDI standard divisions: basic, code, message, document, management, application, communication, and security, right? The first industry specific EDI standard was TDCC, published the Transportation Data Coordinating Committee in the year 1975. Okay, this first industry specific EDI standard that was published by TDCC in the year 1975. Okay, this Transportation Data Coordinating Committee, right, in the year 1975. Okay, then the other industries also started developing some unique standards which is based on their customers or the individuals needs, and according to their requirement they started developing some specific standards, right? Example, wins in the warehousing industry, right? In this warehousing industry, wins, this is an example for a unique standard which is created or developed based on the individual's requirement, right? Here we have seen EDI, right? EDI, electronic data interchange. This is the main part in the total EDI, right? Here, this EDI standards has been developed or divided into basic standards, code standards, message standards, document standards, management standards, application standards, communication standards, and security standards, right? The first industry specific EDI standard was TDCC, and it was published by Transportation Data Coordinating Committee in the year 1975, right? Other industries also started developing the unique standards according to the individual's needs, right? After the development of two major, the regional EDI standards, and after some years they used it for trial, right? After those years, the two standards began to integrate and they conducted research and development of common EDI standards. Some EDI standards will be common, right? So they started to integrate and they started to conduct the research and development on these common EDI standards, right? So at this subsequently, the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe hosted the task of development of international EDI standards, right? International means the worldwide EDI standards was done or hosted by United Nations Economic Commission for Europe. They hosted the international EDI standards, right? The task of development of international EDI standards, right? And then after that, in the year 1986, UN or EDI FACT, EDI Fact is officially proposed, right? The most widely used EDI message standards are United Nations EDI Fact and ANSI X12, right? ANXI cross 12. Okay. After the development of these major regional EDI standards and after some years of trial, that two standards began to integrate and they started to conduct the development, research and development programs and all for common EDA standards. Okay, at that time, the United Nations Economic Commissions for Europe, they hosted the task of development of worldwide EDA standards, right? And then after that, in 1986, UN bar EDI Fact is officially proposed. The most widely used EDI message standards are United Nations EDI Fact and the ANSI X12, right? Now we are going to see about this UN bar EDI fact and this about this EDI fact directories and all, right? The UN EDI fact, that means United Nations or electronic data interchange for administration, commerce and transport. That is UN bar EDI Fact. Okay, United Nations. UN stands for United Nations and EDI Fact stands for Electronic Data Interchange for Administration, Commerce and Transport. Right? This is a worldwide EDI standard which was developed under the supervision of the United Nations. Okay, this United Nations bar electronic data interchange for administration, commerce, and transport. This was an international EDI standard which was developed under the supervision of United Nations. Okay, in 1986, this United Nations Electronic Data Interchange for Administration, Commerce, and Transport syntax rules were approved as ISO 9735 standard by the Worldwide Organization for Standardization, right? That is this logo. This one was approved in the year 1987 by International Organization for Standardization, right? This EDI Fact will include a set of internationally agreed standards. That means it will have a catalog, or it will have a rule book or guidelines for electronic exchange of structured data between some independent computer systems and all, right? This EDI Fact will have a set of worldwide agreed standards and some guidelines and or some catalogs for exchanging the data electronically between some independent, that is some free computer systems and all, right? It is a cross industry or standard data format of electronic data for commercial transactions. Okay, here this EDI Fact, this is a cross industry or standard data format for electronic data for commercial transactions. Maintenance and further developments of the standards will go through this United Nations Center for Trade Facilitation and Electronic Business, that is UN bar CEFACT, CE Fact, that is Center for Trade Facilitation and Electronic Business. Okay, with this is affiliated to the UN, that is United Nations Economic Commission for Europe, right? Next one is EDI Fact directories, right? The version of EDI Fact are also known as directories, right? These EDI Fact directories will be revised or will be updated 2 times in a year, right? It will be revised twice a year on 1st April and also in October 1st also, 1st April and 1st October. This is done to include new or some updated things in the existing EDI Fact messages. Okay, EDI Fact directories have names like D.18b. It is like a version, right? This D stands for directory. 18 is the year, and that A or B will be there. It will indicate the month of release. Okay. Here this EDI Fact versions are also called as directories. Okay. Here we'll have updates in mobiles, right? Likewise, here EDI Fact directories is will be revised twice a year, and it will be revised and updated, and it will be released on 1st of April and 1st of October. Okay, each version will include some update which is not there in the existing EDI Fact messages. Okay, this EDI Fact directories will have a name like D.18b, like that, and all it will be there. D means it stands for directory, and 18 means it is the year, and A or B will be there. It will indicate the month of release, right? So today we have seen about EDI standards, right? Before that we saw about EDI components. What are the major components of EDI? Standard document format, translator and mapper, communication software, communication network, right? And then we saw about EDI standards. EDI standards is the main thing in EDI, right? In this entire EDI, this EDI standards is the main thing. And then we saw about UN bar EDI Fact, that is United Nations Electronic Data Interchange for Administration, Commerce, and Transport, right? And then we have seen about the logo, right? That logo for are the UN EDI Fact syntax rules. This was approved as a ISO standard by International Organization for Standardization, right? And then we saw about EDI directories, right? This EDI will be updated twice, or it will be revised twice a year in 1st April and 1st October. And each revised version will have some new or updated version from the existing EDI fact messages, right? And the next one is EDI fact subsets. Okay, we'll see about this EDI fact subsets in next session. Okay, thank you for your valuable time. Stay home, stay safe, take care, bye.